say you were a hand reader, right? And you got my paddle thing, you know, when I was showing my hand as the paddle of the webbed feet and the flippers and all that sort of thing, which was not yet man. And I did that. You'll notice I did that. The first thing that happened was that the will, this finger represents the will. So first of all, there was will in the separation. Not your will or my will. I'm talking about the will. And this is the representation of it, my finger. My thumb is the representation of, in that, there's no scientific confirmation of this, of course. They all know something about Einstein's theory. They don't know anything about you and me. So the first finger, the first thumb, the thumb of my finger is the first separation of will from the paddle, of solidity, of the animal, of the coming out of the sea and whatever it is, with all that. That's will. Well then, Barry, what happens next? Is there another separation going on here? You showed it to us. Yeah. And the next finger separates. And what's this finger of, Barry? This is the finger of authority. So we got will and some sort of authority. Now, what is the authority in the human race as humanity has climbed my great staircase? Usually it's these medicine men, it's these religionists who used to deal in psychic stuff. The religions, they all deal in psychic stuff. And so this is become probably the symbol of religion, which it is, the finger of Jupiter. So, Jove. So it's the finger of authority, which is, you know how long the medicine men have kept us in complete and utter ignorance, although pretending to show us things, by their authority of their finger. And, you know, the boss says, you'll do this. Or the parent says, you'll do this. Or someone says, you'll do that, won't they? Boom, boom, boom. What are you talking about? Hey, you. Got it? Huh? And that's a finger of authority. Whether it's pretended authority or not, it's authority, isn't it? So now what's next, Barry? Because I happen to have been taught in India how to read palms. What do you think about that? A spiritual teacher who realizes who reads palms? No, I don't read them. I have the knowledge of it. I don't read them. I just have that knowledge. Naturally, I have the knowledge of everything. Right. That I need to know. Now, so what happened then, Barry? We got some authority. Yeah, the medicine men and the religionists all took it over, didn't they? Working miracles with the psychic. You know, the psyche is miraculous. It can do all sorts of things way back there. But it's not true. Anyway, so what's the next finger, Barry, that separated in this paddle and made man? This is the finger of Saturn. The middle finger of equilibrium that allows man to have some equilibrium in his life. Good old Saturn, which everybody is a bit frightened of, because Saturn usually stands for negation. Negation negates your favourite idea of yourself, negates your favourite idea of all your plans and everything. Saturn sitting on you will soon drive you down until you give it up. But that will bring about an equilibrium here compared to this. And also it's very intelligent. And then what was necessary next, Barry? What was necessary next? Well then, we had to have something that was reflecting the intelligence and the love of God, because we got these silly authoritative ministers and medicine men and all that sort of crap. And then we've got, which this negates that, the balance. And then what's this next one, Barry? The finger of Apollo, which is usually the prettiest finger in the hand. The finger of Apollo is the finger of art, the ability to communicate art. For God's sake, not this sort of stuff all over the place, you know. I'm talking about art. Perhaps Oh, we wanted to see the dancer, we'd have to come down to this one here, down to this amount here, which is the amount of Venus, you see. Venus and Moon, the feminine things that we wanted to. But anyway, that's but here is art, true art. The greatest art of all is the love of God. There is no art equal to it, nothing, because all art is supposed to be the worship of God. So my art is the worship of God. And I help to make men and women love God. And so therefore, I am the greatest artist on the earth because I use the bodies of men and women, whereas others are using paint, canvas, and they're using statues. They're making statues, and they say, isn't that beautiful? And they're chipping away at rock. But what about the great art of making a man or woman, which starts with myself, the great art of love? What about that as an art? That is the art, man and woman, to make yourself like beautiful, like the finger of Apollo. Apollo being the great god of the sun or something of light, an artist, not necessarily painting. That doesn't stop you from painting and chiseling and all the rest of it. According to God's will, you will contribute something of that is contribute something to the understanding of man or woman, of the love of God, of your love of God, through your art. And there's no art like what you are. There's no art like making you beautiful, which is what's happening. And then having got that, we've got a nice balance here. We've got some will here. We've got authority here, the religions, which we can't avoid. And then we got the balance here. And then we got the sheer artistry of love of God and art for love purposes, right? And then we have this little finger here, which is the finger of Mercury, which is the finger of writing and speaking and communication. So when you get all that, you get not the human condition, humanity, or you and me, right? Here we are in these 5 fingers, along with Moon and Venus and Mars and all the rest of it, all in the hand. Isn't that amazing? Science doesn't know anything about it. Isn't that terrible? And the scientist's own hand. He doesn't know anything about it because he's not concerned with self-knowledge, is he? He's concerned with knowledge of everything outside himself but his own beautiful body, which has all these secrets in it. Now, is that a nice story? Ah, yeah, right. I got a million of them, you know. And they're not just about media and all that sort of stuff. It's about the wonder of our beautiful bodies. What can be hidden in the hand, which we, of course, because of our terrible, terrible educational system, we're not taught anything about that. Imagine how the kids would love that. If I got up in front of all the kids and I'd say, now I'm going to tell you the whole history of the human race with one hand, right? Yeah, they'd say, well, yeah, one hand. Yeah, I'm going to tell you it all with this hand, right? Gosh, wouldn't they be waiting there to hear this rather than wanting to vandalize something? Yeah. Well, I love it all, you see, because I can communicate life through anything at all. You ask me to communicate it through the table. By God's will, I can communicate it through the table even, because I love life. And that's knowledge. And I'm not special. I am not special. I am just life like you are, and the intelligence behind life.